Hello, YouTube. I got the mic out today, look. Not the one that's in there, my other one that I use for gaming and some stuff like this. I don't get that one out very often unless I have to, because that's a large diaphragm condenser mic. This is a dynamic mic. That fantastic, captures a lot more dynamic range, but it's quite delicate. Whereas this thing, you could virtually hammer nails in with this and he wouldn't break it. Not quite as much dynamic range, but I still like this mic. This is one I use for my game captures. Oh, excuse me. Although it will pick up a lot more of me coughing into it than the other one will. I'm going to talk about today, just because I've got to shoot in a minute to go pick up one of my older daughters, who's coming over for the weekend. But some people, at least on the other channel, not so much here because I don't have so many subscribers, but on the other channel have asked me, how I got into voiceover work. And I just got a new job today, actually, for it's for an audiobook for Talent Spelningar in Sweden, and I'm looking forward to doing it because it's a while since I've done an audiobook. But unlike little 10-minute things that you just jump in and record and then 10 minutes edit and then you go thank you very much, cha-ching, and you get and it paid. It doesn't pay a lot, but it's quite short. So as long as you can keep those jobs coming, it's great. But I haven't done an audiobook for a while. It's and long-form narration in this heat, in this booth, is a bit... Because this booth is fantastic. It's been great. It's a fantastic piece of kit, and it's about half the price of the next nearest one. Unfortunately, one of the downsides to that is the ventilation in this booth is dreadful. It has a fan system which sits under here on my desk, an extraction system, but there's supposed to be silent extraction systems in these audio booths, and this one is anything but that, so I can't have the extractor on while I'm in there, and even if I could, it's not particularly efficient, so doesn't really do a lot. And in here, in this heat, just sitting here with the window open, and when I'll turn the fan back on when I've finished. I've turned it off for the moment. But just sitting here with the window open, forgive me, I've got a bit of a stuffed nose again, is just ridiculously hot. So going in that booth and, recording long-form narration for hours and hours at a time is not something I'm looking forward to. But, it's always nice to read. I read books that I wouldn't ordinarily read if I wasn't doing it for a living, so... a few people have asked me on the other channel, how I got into voiceover work. And when I met my wife and I moved over there to Sweden while she finished university, I got a job as a Stockholm tour guide, and which I loved. I absolutely loved doing that job, and I love the people that I worked with, and I kind of miss it sometimes, actually. But while in the winter in Stockholm, there's not an awful lot of tourism, even less tourism for the kind of tourism I was dealing with, which was a cruise guide. So I was guiding people as they came off the cruise ships. I was the person that would sit there at the front of the coach with a little microphone and walk around in the museums with them. So in the winter, I was looking for work, that would sort of give me a little bit of cash over the winter. And so I signed up, amongst other things, I signed up to an extras, TV and movie extras website. Not much came of actually work that way. I got one job I was in a Volkswagen commercial for like half a second, and good pay for half a second of work, but I was contacted by a documentary filmmaker who had seen me on this extra site, and he'd checked out some of my YouTube videos on this channel, actually, on the Sleepless Night channel, and he contacted me and said, I really like your voice and I think it'd really fit for my documentary. Do you want to fly out to Oslo and do that for me? So I said, well, sure, I can fly out there, but I started doing this because I didn't have enough money over the winter, so you'll have to pay. And he said, no, don't worry about that, we'll pay all your expenses. So I went out to Oslo in Norway for the day and recorded this thing in a studio and did a couple of voices for actually the narration, and then like a 1930s voiceover thing, a film reel voiceover thing, newscaster. Flew home, didn't think anything more about it really, until a few months later when a colleague of mine, a guide colleague, said, I know this chap who's been recording audiobooks, and they want another native English speaker to record audiobooks. So I said, right, I'm on it. Went down there, recorded, a little take for like an interview session. They loved me, picked me up, and I started recording audiobooks. Then we moved back to England, and I started doing that, and I've been doing it ever since. So, that ran over a bit, but